time for a reality check. You know, if you've been feeling stressed, exhausted, overwhelmed, you just start up, but you can't seem to follow through lately, like constantly feeling overworked and overloaded. The truth is, your dysfunctional relationship with technology is actually what's fueling your overwhelm. That's what's actually fueling your inability to trust yourself. That's what's feeding your imposter syndrome, is a dysfunctional relationship with technology, because we're relying on other people's eyes to see our lives and our reality. When we pick up that phone, when we open up that laptop, when we open up that iPad, and we go through and we watch and we scroll and we consume and we look at all the talking heads and we listen to all of the podcasts, right? We read through all of the articles. That is all of what everybody else has said is news and what's going on. And so we take all of that in, and then we carry all of that in addition to our own lives right here in our own neck of the woods. Be kind to yourself. If that's the situation, we need to talk about it. I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield from strategicmeditation.com, and this is your weekly business energy flow forecast. It's an energy forecast from my dojo. I'm enjoying all of the lovely greenery in our green room here in the atrium here in New Jersey. This is the space that I have set aside for when you come for your private session, where I help impact-driven entrepreneurs and leaders like you to get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business, right? I provide spiritual coaching, business coaching, Reiki clearing, card readings, all in a holistic way to make sure that you increase your energy so that you can increase your income and impact. If that speaks to you, like, share, subscribe, comment below if you've ever been here. Have you ever been to a session here at the dojo? Would love to say hi to all of my students who are watching faithfully now, 15 years strong. With that, getting back to our topic of the day of the reality check. Because as I was journeying on the topic for this next 4-episode series, this is the first of 4 episodes, my spirit guide showed me what's the problem. And that is technology-induced blindness or even myopia, where we're just so short-sighted. And that problem of our short-sightedness coming from our interaction with our devices, right, and all of the news and social media outlets, what happens is that steals our energy from being positive disruptors in our community, in our industry, in our lineage and ancestry, in our families, in our countries. We're stolen. We're giving away, but it's also actively stealing the energy that we could be using for positive change. Positive change takes energy. If you want to be impactful, you have to have that energy behind you so that you can be that force of nature to make impact in the first place. But if you spend your day saying, oh my God, I'm so tired, or I don't know how to do this, or oh my gosh, am I ever going to figure this out? Or when am I going to get my break? When am I going to be enough? Or oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, I'm so confused, right? If all of your energy is going into that, it is being stolen from your ability to be a positive disruptor. Does this ring any bells? Like, go ahead and type positive disruptor in the comments if that's you. If you're here to be a force for positive change, productive transformation, uplifting and healing impact. Go ahead and type positive disruptor in the comments below if that's you. And be kind to yourself. The reality check of the day, just for today, we're going to focus on our relationship with technology and making sure that it is functional. Shout out to one of my viewers. I'm not going to name you, but she's also a longtime client of mine. And she was sharing with me how she intentionally, she herself, and then also she had her family join her in intentionally not looking at any technology for a day. They felt so much better. They spent amazing time together as a family. She started feeling more energized. She slept well, and she had been in a slump before, but started coming back alive of like, all right, I have this renewed faith in myself and the work that I'm called to do. And when she woke up the next day, she opened up her phone. She's like, all right, before I begin my workday, let me just take a look. Oh, completely derailed all of that pure, juicy, high vibrational light energy that she had acquired by intentionally stepping away from technology and with her whole clan. So it wasn't just her, but all together they had. And it was not easy, just for one day, for 24 hours. But the difference was palpable for her. Does this sound familiar? Where you left your phone in the car, or you forgot your phone at home, and for some reason you have so much more energy and you're having such a great time, or you haven't even looked at it in forever, you forgot to look at, you missed some phone calls, but you were having such a great life that you didn't even care to look at the tech. Or have you ever had this experience where you're having a really good day, your body feels light and clear, and then as soon as you open your laptop, there's just something like a headache or like a cloud of static starts to come out, and you can even forget what you were thinking before you even opened the laptop. It's just like you open it and suddenly all of your thoughts from before were deleted. I'm like, what was I going to do? And you have to backtrack. Have you ever had that experience? Or how about this? You were out in nature for an extended period of time, having a really great time, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the trees, enjoying the water, wherever you are, right? Enjoying skiing and enjoying the sunlight. And then you go inside and you see a huge screen with blaring news going. How does that make you feel? Does that raise your vibe or kill the vibe suddenly? Let's be honest. Technology is stealing our energy, and it's time for us to take our power back. Especially now more than ever, where we have more and more people with their TikToks and their Instagrams and their podcasts and their YouTubes, right? And their live streams, wherever they're streaming, or at Twitch or whatever, offering up their opinions, telling you what they think the news is. And that is shaping how you see reality. It's as if it is a virtual reality where out here, so this is my cell phone. I'm going to step out of the cell phone attention. Out here, we're good. But then I bring the cell phone back in front of me and all of a sudden it's the end of the world. This little device can completely hack my mood, your mood, anyone's mood. And it's actually designed to do that. We'll get more into the technology over the next few weeks. But long story short, we want to now go, as we go into the scientific article of the day, apply a metaphor for that effect that it has on our emotions of taking us from one happy world over here to one disaster world. Like it's like a dimension, from like an awful dimension to a great dimension, from a great dimension into the awful dimension. Fire and brimstone, everything's falling apart, we're powerless, right? And there's always problems going on inside this little hunk of metal, right? The cell phone, the imaginary cell phone I'm holding in my hands, right? As we talk about this, and your brain can't tell the difference because it sucks you in. Whereas my spirit guides are here to tell you, you have a higher intelligence that knows that this out here, not the digital reality, but actual reality. Your life is where it's at, and this is your source of energy. This digital reality is the drain. It is a vampire. This, your physical reality, your life, is an energy wellspring and resource. So let's get into the science behind this. And so we're going to start with our scientific article from interactiondesign.org. And over the next, like this, in the coming weeks, we're going to be looking more into extended reality technology. So it's called XR. And XR is the umbrella underneath virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality technology and devices hang underneath. So extended reality is when they take how we perceive reality and using a device of some sort, they completely transport you to another world. Such as, have you ever seen like the VR head device where you put on the goggles, or they have like the Google glasses that show you stuff on the inside of the glasses, right? Or the metaverse and all of that. That's considered XR, and this article is going to help introduce us to this concept of virtual reality and how that affects us. Let's go. So this is by Leila Tremosa, May 2024. Beyond AR versus VR. So it's augmented reality versus virtual reality. What is the difference between AR, MR, VR, and XR? Let's go. When you wear a VR headset, you can feel present in a fully digital environment. The digital information that you perceive through your senses overpowers your reasoning that this is not real. For your body, at that moment, it is real. And for all these technologies to work, they all need to feel real. Everybody say feel. Feel. Type it in the comments below. Feel. What matters most is how you feel. Unpause. The difference between them is how much they rely on physical or digital elements. The virtuality continuum being the critical word, contains the full spectrum of possibilities between the entirely physical world or the real environment, okay, and the fully digital world or virtual environment. In a continuum, adjacent parts are almost indistinguishable, but the extremes are very different. The researchers Paul Milgram and Fumio Kishino first introduced the virtuality continuum or reality virtuality continuum concept in 1994. The virtuality continuum is a theoretical framework that can help you visualize and understand the differences between the various technologies that exist today and those that are yet to be invented. For example, you can simplify the concept and think of a spectrum of immersion, where one is low immersion and the other end is high immersion. Then you can situate the technologies according to the degree of immersion they provide. Pause. I highly recommend you click on and read through the interactiondesign.org article that I've attached in the description of this video or wherever it's posted, it has a visual so that you could look at, like, ooh, they have a nice graph that displays that there's reality and there's virtuality. There's physical and there's digital. There's low immersion and there's high immersion on this continuum. Unpause. What is virtual reality, or VR? Virtual reality is a technology that allows the creation of a fully immersive digital environment. In VR experiences, the physical or real world environment is entirely blocked out. VR experiences are located at the fully virtual extreme of the virtuality continuum. Many people struggle with the fact that VR experiences generate true emotional responses, even if we know it's fake. I repeat, VR experiences generate true emotional responses, even though we know it's fake, right? Pause for a second. When I open up my phone and I see something awful, right? Because usually what's news is usually what's awful. I will have a true emotional response as I look at that. And it's not happening here in this room. It's not happening to me. It's not happening in my life. But because I'm a human being, I'm going to look at that and have empathy, right? I'm going to have an emotional, right, a limbic reaction to that stimulus. My brain is going to say, freak out, and I will freak out, even if everything in my physical reality is perfectly fine. Dropping a pin in that, unpause. With true emotional responses, even though we know it's fake, keep in mind that humans construct reality from the information they receive through their senses. And this is why, even if we are aware that we have a fully digital experience, our bodies respond in the same way. Typically, VR takes advantage of the visual and auditory systems. However, there is an even greater sense of presence and immersion if you add other senses. Have you ever heard of the Walk the Plank challenge? It is a VR experience where you can enter an elevator and get out at the top of a skyscraper. Then you're asked to walk a plank. Just with auditory and visual stimulation, pause, my spirit guides are telling me to specify what would be auditory and visual stimulation. So your headset has speaker headphones, right? Where maybe you can hear the sound of the wind. And then the headset also has a full screen completely covering your eyes, where when you look, it's responsive. So it looks like you can look in 360 degrees. And so you hear the sound of the wind, maybe it's in New York City, so the sound of traffic far below you. And as you look around within the headset, there's the sky, there's the ledge, and there's the plank at the top, right, of the Empire State Building, maybe. And they say, walk that plank. Auditory and visual only. Unpause. Just with auditory and visual stimulation, many people, especially those who suffer from a fear of heights, right here, can't do it, even though they are aware that what they see and hear is not real. However, if you add a physical plank, right, in the room, in the VR room, if you add a physical plank to the setup and thus activate the sense of touch, even fewer people will be able to do it. The more coherent information we get through our senses, the more immersive the experience. Tying this back to our reality check. Our dysfunctional relationship with technology is what is causing our overwhelm, what is fueling our lack of ability to trust ourselves. It is draining our self-confidence, because your brain cannot tell the difference between what you're scrolling on Snapchat or TikTok at 3 a.m. or on the toilet. Your brain can't tell the difference between that and what is physically present in your reality. It just gets fed into all of your senses, and then you construct reality. So as you're watching dramatic stuff, as you're watching like crime like stories, as you're watching stuff about some drama that's going on, or as you're watching like romantic things, your body is actually responding to and processing everything that you're looking at. It's as if you're living a double life, where here's your physical reality, here on the virtuality continuum, the actual reality over here. Here's that life, and then you're also living a virtual life. This one is ruining you. This one is fueling you and calling you. Okay? We have got to be vigilant about it. As we saw in the scientific article, your brain can't tell the difference. And so it's important that you get a handle on what you are exposing yourself to, right? As you are opening up that app, as you are going through and reading those emails or engaging in those, laptop battles with trolls, and haters, who knows what you're going through. That is draining you. And you want to make sure that the next time you open up your virtual reality, your double life, that this fuels you, gives you energy back, positive energy back, not just drama or fired up or angry energy, but joyful and hopeful and awe-filled, right? And inspired energy. The next time you open it up, you want to make sure you engage in things that lift you up and support this life, this physical reality that you move in, that this is going hand in hand rather than combating or even draining from this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Comment below if you're following, right? I want to hear what's coming up for you hearing all that. Are you noticing that, okay, maybe we have been being entertained, right? Maybe I'm telling myself, oh, I'm just relaxing, or I'm just doom scrolling, oh, I'm just whatever, I'm unwinding. Meanwhile, the things that we're reading and watching and listening to on the device is draining our souls and spirits. Be kind to yourself if this is the situation. You're more than that. And as you drain your soul and spirit, you're draining your creativity and imagination. This is the source of your gift and your positive disruption in the world. You're draining that precious inner well of wisdom. You're draining the energy out. And it is very real and very powerful. Your imagination, your creativity, your intuition. It has power. This is where we're going to bring in Think and Grow Rich. We need to talk about this. Chapter 14 is on the sixth sense, where it's your gut feelings, right? Trusting your gut, your hunches, right? And having that spark of inspiration that gets you ahead of the game, right? Where you're never competing, you're always creating. If you have that inner well of wisdom, that connection to it, you're on top. Absolutely. You have your art. But when we allow our second lives, that virtual reality, to steal our energy, steal our soul, then we don't have anything left to be creative with. Unpause. Tapping the source of inspiration. Napoleon Hill writes, somewhere in the cell structure of the brain is located an organ that receives vibrations of thought, ordinarily called hunches. So far, science has not discovered where this organ of the sixth sense is located, but this is not important. The fact remains that human beings do receive accurate knowledge through sources other than the physical senses. Pause. Now we looked in the scientific article where the researchers explained the way that we create reality is only through our senses. Napoleon Hill is now building on that and saying, actually, that's not true. We're more than just our senses, right? We have a sixth sense. Unpause. The fact remains that human beings do receive accurate knowledge through sources other than the physical senses. Such knowledge generally is received when the mind is under the influence of extraordinary stimulation. Any emergency that arouses the emotions and causes the heart to beat more rapidly than normal may, and generally does, bring the sixth sense into action. Anyone who's experienced a near accident while driving knows that on such occasions, the sixth sense often comes to one's rescue and aids by split seconds in avoiding the accident. These facts are mentioned preliminary to a statement of fact that I shall now make, namely that during my Napoleon Hill's meetings with my invisible counselors, these are his spirit guides, ladies and gentlemen, I find my mind most receptive to ideas, thoughts, and knowledge that reach me through the sixth sense. On scores of occasions when I have faced emergencies, some of them so grave that my life was in jeopardy, I have been miraculously guided past these difficulties through the influence of my invisible counselors. My original purpose in conducting council meetings with imaginary beings was solely that of impressing my own subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion with certain characteristics that I desired to acquire. Pause. What does he mean by that? So he would imagine being in the presence of Thomas Edison or Abraham Lincoln, he explains in the book, and he would imagine being in the presence of Aristotle or Plato and imagine that they could start teaching him and rewiring his brain. And he would do that before bed every night. That's how he would meditate. That is how Napoleon Hill would do it. He would imagine, he calls them his heroes, and imagine them mentoring him. Unpause. My original purpose in conducting council meetings with imaginary beings was solely of that of impressing my own subconscious mind through the principle of suggestion with certain characteristics that I desired to acquire. In more recent years, my experimentation has taken on an entirely different trend. I now go to my imaginary counselors with every difficult problem that confronts me and my clients. The results are often astonishing, although I do not depend entirely on this form of counsel. So tying this back to our reality check, this can go both ways, okay? You can not only go to your technology to get information about what's real, what's going on, but you can actually go within to your imagination to see what's real and what's going on. And in fact, that increases your energy when you go within rather than going out into man-made, virtual, constructed reality. Going within, speaking to God, speaking to the angels, speaking to your ancestors, speaking to your power animals, right? Speaking to your higher self or speaking to your inner child. Going within to get entertainment, to get information, and to learn, to engage, to check in with yourself, going within rather than going out, right? This is the cell phone. This will energize you, when you get the hang of it. Be kind to yourself. If you're afraid to go within, that's my specialty, right? Hello, click the link, join us on Skool, or hop on my calendar. Let's talk about it, because you have a well of wisdom and intuition that you're not tapping into because you're so distracted by the second disastrous and dysfunctional life in virtual reality and your technology. There's another way to be fully immersed, and that is by going within to your spirit guides. With that being said, the tarot card of the day is the Hermit. The Hermit as a challenger. So spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. The upside down means we're resisting. Spending time in quiet meditation. No, we are spending our time in doom scrolling and drama binging instead of going in and being quiet and exploring your inner world, right? Spiritual teaching rather than worldly and world news and like global distractions. Not to say that we shouldn't care about what's going on in our world and our planet and our neighbors, absolutely. And if you are spending more time crying about and advocating for things that are going on far away, meanwhile, while your bank account is running dry, your cupboard is empty, your fridge has got the food is dying because you just haven't been eating it, right? And you're lonely and etc. Your physical reality is suffering while you're focused on other people's suffering with love that doesn't make you a martyr, that makes you confused and distracted. I'm sending you so much love. As I say this, I want you to have a reality check. You gotta eat. If you want to help people, you can't help people while you're starving. You can't help people while you're exhausted. You can't help people while you're falling apart. You have got to get it together, but you are avoiding going within, is what the Hermit is saying. But it's your time to pull it in and reconnect to your reality. So I'm going to turn this card right side up. Number 9 in the major arcana. 9 means completion. You are enough. Your life and minding your own business is enough. With that, we have an action step of the day. As always, for our members on Skool, you have in your Skool app this meditation tracker for the month of February. And for this, our first week, and this is corresponding to the first episode in this series, you're going to log in and type in the search bar, root chakra surrender. Chakra is spelled Chakra. Root chakra surrender. It's 14 minutes per day, and it's in the love and protection meditations, part of your vaulted visualizations. And so what we need to do is to let go of carrying everybody else's stuff. We've got to let go of that. And that's why we need to ground into the root chakra. We need to surrender. This is an addiction, right? This virtual reality that we are pulled into with all the social media and the news and the gaming. I haven't even touched on that, right? All of that technology we need to release so that we can get back to our lives. And the root chakra is the first chakra of our own body, Manipura, right at the base of the spine. It is bright red. We want to reconnect and anchor into that so that we're in the right state to take care of ourselves, our families, our community, right? Our business and our businesses, right? Be kind to yourself if you're wrapped up in that dysfunction. Do you need help, by the way? Now that we come to the end of this video, if you need help, being able to have a functional relationship with technology rather than a dysfunctional relationship with technology, go ahead and comment below saying like help or send love. Like, I'm happy to, if you want to put some hearts. So I'll know that this is you, like saying, please reach out to me, Victoria, right? Or your best bet actually is to click on the link in the description, talkwithvictoria.com. You go there and it takes you to my calendar so that you can get on that and we can have a talk, whether it's me giving you support or someone that I know. But long story short, it's time for you to come back to your reality and take care of your body, your love life, your finances, your family, your community, your business. Come on back and get real. So I'm sending you so much love. Mwah! Remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.